Good evening, Redeeming Love family, friends, and our visitors that are watching us on this new segment that we have called Love Notes from Redeeming Love. Since the month of August is our time away and vacation and downtime, we decided that we'd do something new, and we'll do this every time we have a vacation month because we want to keep it relevant and we want to certainly keep ourselves in the Word. And so we've tagged this Love Notes from Redeeming Love. It's in place of our Word on Wednesday during the month of August. And certainly whenever there are times that we need to be away, we want to be able to do an installment of Love Notes. It's just a quick devotion. It's just a quick lesson that we want to present to you on Wednesday nights and whenever you have the convenience of airing it back in your own personal space. We would greatly appreciate it. So please share it. It's going to be on all of our social media platforms. And so we look forward to you joining us each Wednesday evening in the month of August for the next 3 weeks at this time, in this place and space. Tonight, for our initial and inaugural segment of Love Notes, I want to talk about something called the discipline of love. The discipline of love. Love is an interesting thing. It requires both a recipient and it also requires a participant to send that love. You can't say that you love someone and you don't display it. And you can't say that you're loved and not receive it. And so there is a participatory aspect that we all have when it comes to love. Love is an interesting thing because not everything and not everyone is loved, not by certain people. But we first experience love when we are born by our parents, by our grandparents, by our family. So that's where love initiates and is initially felt, is in the family. But then it extends to individuals that you come in contact with that are like-minded, that feel the same way that you feel, that are going in the same direction that you're going in. That's love. Love is much more than what we say. Love is what we do. It's an action word. And so love is shrouded throughout the Bible. And tonight, I just want to pick out a few verses that we can see the display of love. We can see the command of love. Now, everyone's not going to like you. Everyone's not going to agree with you. And you're not going to agree or like everyone else. But we are charged as Christians, as children of God, to love one another. You may not like me, but you've got to love me, especially if you plan to see God. So, in the book of Matthew, the Gospel according to Matthew, the 27th chapter, Jesus is confronted by the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The Sadducees are the first ones who come against him because they don't believe in the resurrection. And so they put Jesus to a test. And after Jesus not only has passed the test, but he has also silenced the Sadducees. He is then confronted by the Pharisees. And in Matthew, the 22nd chapter, right around verse number 34, it reads this in the New International Version. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him to saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love thy God, thy Lord thy God, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first great commandment. But then verse number 39 says this, And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. love. Jesus displays this love in this test that he is going through by telling them that if you really want to display love, show it to your neighbor as you would show love to yourself. Now, we get disappointed with ourselves, but we still love ourselves. And this commandment, which is the second of the great commandments that Jesus talks about, says that we need to love the person that's next to us, whether we agree with them or don't. You have got to love them. And then in 1 Corinthians, the 13th chapter, here's what Paul says. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but I do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all the mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. Here's what he also says. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Here's what he says in verse number 8. Love never fails. And then he finally says this. For we now see only a reflection in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. Now, in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. Verse number 13. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. The discipline of love also comes from some uncomfortable situations. Growing up as a child, whenever we did something wrong, we were either scalded or we were spanked. And if it was really outrageous, we got whippings. And we heard this expression just before the sentence was carried out. This is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. And I never could understand that, because I was the one that was receiving the pain from this discipline. But then as I grew older and had children myself, I understood exactly what it was. The action had to be corrected, but how it was going to be done was just as painful to the one who was issuing it than the one who was receiving it. The discipline of love means sometimes you're going to be placed in some uncomfortable positions to understand that you have been corrected, not out of punishment, but out of protection. The love that our family has for us, our parents have for us, was designed to let us know how much they love us. If they didn't love us, they would never correct us. Here's another item for us to consider: the discipline of love. When Jesus hung on the cross, he had to discipline himself not to come down. He had to discipline himself, watch this, not to run away from the inevitable. But because he loved us so much, he disciplined himself to stay on the cross. Here's my point to you as we get ready to go. Do you have the discipline of love? Can you endure, as Paul has said in 1 Corinthians? Are you able to be patient? Are you able to be kind? Are you able to not envy or to boast or to be proud or to dishonor others or not be self-seeking about it? Not easily angered, and you don't keep a record of what somebody else has done? You don't delight in the evil, but you rejoice in the truth? You protect and you trust, you hope, and also you persevere. That's the discipline of love. Love says, I want to sacrifice me so that I can make you a better person. Listen, thank you for joining us on this quick Love Notes from Redeeming Love. Join us again next week, same time, same place, for another Love Note from Redeeming Love. This is Pastor Mark. Listen, don't forget to join us each and every weekend. Our worship and praise begins at 9:50. Our worship service starts at 10, and then we have Sunday school every Sunday at 9 o'clock. You can join us on the website at www.redeeminglove.com. We look forward to seeing you in Redeeming Love.